Most of producers that talk to me ask me all the time for some mixing and mastering advice. The only problem is that their actual problem is not mixing or any kind of processing. They just need to make simply better beats. I'm Mordarski and I will help you make your first K selling beats. Your beats usually sound bad because of bad melodies, bad sound selection, bad or complete lack of layering, bad drum patterns, bad arrangement. This is very rare to have just bad beat simply because of bad mixing or mastering or any kind of processing. At first you need to understand that mixing doesn't actually matter that much. I will prove it to you by this simple thinking experiment. Let's consider these two situations. In first, we have really outstanding beat. I mean, it really is complete masterpiece, but there is no mixing or generally mixing, mastering is bad, the quality is not that nice. Okay? On the other hand, we have really bad beat with shitty melody, shitty drums and stuff. It generally doesn't even sound like a beat, but it like quality is out of the fucking roof. Like 20 fucking sound engineers sat on this for day and night. Okay? Which beat is more likely to make views, to make more streams, to make more money, to be more influential? Is that even a question? Obviously. Why is that? Like, I think that everybody can relate to listening to our favorite song on some completely shitty device, on some $20 fucking, headphones, or some, listening to music on our phone, on some old broken radio. If we have our favorite song, we are 100% likely to listen to this song even on our phone. Our phones have very bad quality of sound. But if we would choose to listen to our favorite song on on some shitty $5 device, $5 headphones, and on the other hand we have opportunity to listen to completely shitty song but on these crazy fucking speakers for $2,000 each, we would anyway choose shitty device, shitty mixing, but simply good song. Okay? So I would like you to understand, that's the most important point of this video. Mixing of your beats is very unlikely to really stop you from making good beats. If you can't sell your beats, or your beat just doesn't sound good, your beats are generally, they don't make views anymore, they don't bring you anything, it is very, very rare that mixing is the problem. I will tell you a story of my most popular beat at the moment, which is this beat on my first Type Beat channel. It is NWA Type Beat. It has like 25,000 views at this point. Like, simply the most important beat in my life, because it is something that really blew up my first channel. I wouldn't be sitting here if not that beat. Man, mixing of that beat was completely fucking awful. When after a few months, after I think 1 year after uploading this beat and after it already made a lot of views, I was selling stems to this one rapper, so I had to go back to my project because I didn't have stems generally exported. So I go to this project file, I'm looking at the mixing of my drum bass. Fuck, bro, it was fucking brutal. I think 20 different fucking plugins. One EQ was putting low and let's say I was leveling in parametric EQ. So one EQ literally puts 200 hertz down, another EQ that's literally reverse. I was just fucking around with this, okay? I was cutting some ridiculous frequency. I was putting 4 different fucking compressors, and it was just complete fucking shit, okay? Right now I'm really decent with my mixes. Artists pay me $100, $200 for my mixing and mastering of their songs. It's not nothing professional, but it is something really decent. So now I can see if mix is good or not, okay? And I can tell you this beat had completely bad mix. Anyway, the most popular beat in my life, probably most of you guys would be fucking, you would kill somebody for getting 25k views on your next beat, okay? Because I guess a lot of you guys literally are stuck on 200, 500 views, so it could be really big deal for a lot of you. And I was able to achieve that. Generally this beat was able to achieve that with completely bad mixing. I have a lot of beats with this great mixing, and they're this fucking great, okay? And they get 20 views on my new Type Beat channels, let's say, okay? So really remember, your performance of your beats is completely not based on your mixing. You can have viral beat with completely shitty mixing, okay? nowadays, when I'm way more advanced in mixing than I was 1 year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, my mixing takes me 15 fucking minutes. Okay, I can even give you a link in the description to this one video when I show you how I mix my beats. So literally I do this in 6 steps. I've done it in 15 minutes. Literally it's recorded on the fucking video. I just do leveling, sound filtering, sidechain, a little reverb or delay, and then panning. Boom, that's all. Okay, and it should take you like 15-20 minutes at best, because mixing of beat is really that fucking simple. Mixing vocal is different story. It should take you some time, okay, because you should just sometimes take a step back. You should maybe listen to on other devices and stuff. Yeah, sure, mixing vocals and generally whole songs is more complicated. You could call it like a separate art, okay. But mixing your beats for some YouTube upload, for some Instagram beat, for some beat pack from rapper from your DMs, man, it is really so fucking easy. So now I want to go back to the main point of this video. Your problem is not mixing, your problem is making simply bad beats. So now I would like to break it down what actually means to make bad beat, okay? What are your actual problems when you think that your mix is off? So the first thing that I would consider, if I was thinking, yeah, maybe I should, I know, join this fucking mixing masterclass for $500 or buy a new compressor or buy this new fucking AI plugin that will improve your mixes fucking with 0 effort. Man, before you do any of that bullshit, okay? Even before you join my program, before you try to get into my coaching or something, just make sure if your melodies are just fucking good. Simply. Just think, damn, is this melody good? Because if your melody doesn't work, or you have like bad drum patterns, bad sample chop, whatever, bad chord progression, you will not make anything with that. So at first, usually 90% of you guys already fall on this. You are thinking, yeah, maybe it's mixing, maybe it's mastering, but no, actually you make shitty melody, bad drum patterns, bad chord progressions, your effects are off, so you just make some total basic fucking mistake, okay? But now, some of you guys will sit and think, no, actually this melody is kind of catchy. You even ask your friend, your fucking, I know, parents, they're telling you, okay, like honestly this melody is kind of nice. So now we're thinking, okay, so what's the problem? Then usually it's because of bad sound selection, okay? So for example, you want to make some trappy type beat, but you just, you know, I use like just this one fucking exotic violin sound that doesn't even sound like something that should be in trap. Or you want to make this classic boom bap sound, but you add some fucking synthesizers from, let's say, Nexus 3. Yeah, so that's like another problem. Usually, for example, you want to make old school boom bap and you use some totally distorted 808, or you put some like trappy hi-hats in your old school type beat, or maybe in your like trappy beat, maybe in some drill, maybe in some jersey, you put some kind of like, you know, this analog fucking hi-hat, which would be proper for 90s type beat, okay? So usually when your melodies are proper, the next problem is usually your sound selection, okay? Then if your sound selection is nice and there is still something lacking, it's usually lack of layering. So layering is, for example, making the, like, you have this one melody on this one instrument on violin, okay, but you're thinking that, okay, this melody is kind of empty, so you're not making counter melody, you're not adding more drums, more bass, you just make that another instrument and make another melody, so they are playing the same notes at the same time. For example, just one instrument is playing more in the low end, another one is playing more in the high end, or one instrument is more in the mono and another instrument is more in the stereo. Okay, so you just put more stuff into this melody, so it just feels better. Layering generally is the secret of kind of this industry standard. If something sounds really interesting, most of producers think, whoa, he definitely uses some crazy plugins, I need to buy this Omnisphere, whoa. No. Usually, if something sounds interesting, it's because motherfucker layered like 20 different sounds into it, okay? And you're now making like some fucking piano melody, 2 pieces of drums, and you're thinking, whoa, what is wrong with my beats? Usually, it will be layering, okay? But if you make proper melodies, proper sound selection, your layering also is like at the spot, then if you are master of these 3 things, then you can start thinking about mixing, because then, yeah, maybe your beat needs some mixing, but if you have good melodies, good selection, and good layers, you don't need any mixing, okay? So, By the way, if you want to get into my community and also want to get some 10 hours selling beats course, also want to get on a weekly course with me, you also want some exclusive content from me every week and maybe some more courses on producing beats in the future, you can go into first link in the description, okay? But now I would like to give you some action steps. What should you actually do if you're this guy that's like thinking, okay, my mixing is bad, so now Mordalski, you're telling me, but it's not actually mixing, so now I'm fucking confused, what am I supposed to do? So there are three situations, okay? Your melodies suck, your sound select and layering sucks, or really your mixing sucks. So basically what you need to do, if your melodies suck, you just need to learn music theory and maybe you should also play on some instrument, okay? So and if your melodies suck, if your melodies are not good, there is no point in thinking about anything different. So you just need to study some music theory, you need to play on the instrument, you need to improve it like theoretic side of that, and maybe you can do those kind of challenges, let's say make 20 melodies in G minor, okay? And if you don't know what is G minor, this is what is the real problem, man, okay? So I suggest watching few courses on music theory, nothing paid actually, not even reading books, you can just find it on the internet. Actually, my whole music theory knowledge is from the free sources on the internet, you don't need anything more. Just learn something about chord progressions, about scales, minor and major scale, and like melody intervals. It's basically all you need to know. Then if your melodies are good at first, start doing proper sound selection. I was in the call with this one producer and I was asking he was asking me for some mixing advice, and I actually listened to his beats. I already knew what's wrong, so I'm asking him, okay, what is your, okay, you want some mixing advice. Generally mixing is not that important in your melodies because they may sound more interesting because of good mixing, but they will not sound more like quality. Usually quality comes from sound of bass and drums. So I'm asking him, okay, what is your source of drum kits? And he's telling me that, yeah, some packs on Reddit. And at this point, yeah, I know, bro, just go to fucking Cymatics or go to Producer Grind. There's also this website Baker. Maybe I will give you some links in the description. Just go to some really like brain dead simple like sources of drum kits and you will be good. Don't get too smart with some fucking Reddit drum kits. There is no point with that. That you can find something interesting there, 100%, but why would you even fucking waste your time on this if you can go to like Cymatics and get like, you know, 1000 fucking drum kits for like free, okay? Or most of my fucking beats are based on some Producer Grind, Cymatics, as well as this Baker, I think, or something like that. Yeah, and maybe I have some more like, you know, interesting stuff that I had to do some digging to find it, but most of my stuff is some Cymatics, Producer Grind. You can laugh at me for doing it, but I sell beats and you probably don't if you watch this, so fuck you, man, in this case. So literally, at first, you don't even need to practice sound selection, just get better fucking sounds, okay? So go and download even some free stuff. You can get this Labs from Spitfire Audio. Very great plugin for better melodies, but at first focus on drums, so go to Cymatics, go to Producer Grind, get some drum kits from them. And then if you have those sounds and your stuff still sucks, you should focus more on layering and making those proper melodies, but not from like musical, not like melody about, I don't mean notes, but making more interesting sound with your notes, okay? So then you just need to practice, you just need to make more beats. So if your melodies are good, you have already proper drum kits, now you just need to make more beats. If you make 20 beats per week, now you make 50 beats per week. If you make 50, you make 100, okay? There is no, this is the best way to improve your beats as a producer. Make more fucking beats. So if you're at this stage, then you just produce more beats. You literally make, for example, challenge, okay, I will make 50 beats from scratch this week, and I will try to use layering in each of them. I will try to make melodies with 3 different sounds, okay? And then if your melodies are great, you have proper drum kits, proper plugins, your sound selection is great, your layering is great, then if you think that you could improve your sound quality, yeah, now you can go watch my mixing tutorial, maybe something. You should read this book, Mixing Engineer's Handbook. This is the only thing that you should actually consume, and you can also watch my tutorial on mixing your beats. That's all, actually everything that you should know about mixing. Most of mixing is just fucking experience. You need to feel what kind of frequencies work, when you should use compression, when you should use reverb, when you should use delay, okay? So that's literally whole thing that you should do if you think that you struggle with like making beats with good quality. Okay, so as I mentioned before, if you want to get into my community, so you want to meet more producers like similar to you, because you are all watching the same content like me sitting here. Okay, if you want to get 10 hours selling beats course, okay, if you want to get more courses on mixing, on like sound selection, on layering, generally making better beats in the future, if you want to get exclusive content from me and some, I know, industry industry insights every week from me, if you want to go on weekly calls with me, like where I will literally sit like this for 2 hours and I will answer your questions, if you want to get all that, you go into first link in description. This is my paid product. Like, the relationship of price to value is ridiculous, because you can join for $29 and you can consume like this course. This like 10 hours selling beats course is easily worth like $500, but here you go. I want to help you grow, so go into first link in description. That's all for today. Bye.